Machine guns are back on the menu for Season 15. This underused power weapon archetype is long overdue a buff, and so it's going to be getting one in the next sandbox refresh. Bungie haven't yet released the specifics as to whether it's going to be a flat buff like rocket launchers and linear fusions got recently, or if it's going to be a tailored buff per archetype, or even a precision modifiers bonus. Either way, there's a ton of top tier machine guns you should be hunting down right now in the game, so let's start with a golden oldie. This is possibly the best machine gun in the game because not only does it shred everything, but it also creates the destructive Warmind cells. It's a high impact frame one and so has the highest damage output, and it also has some of the best damage output perk combos too. You can currently get it from any Legendary Engram, and there's a number of perks to look out for. In the first perk column, Clown Cartridge will overflow your magazine on a reload, and auto loading holster will help to reload when stored, making it ideal for any damage phase. In the final column though, Vorpal Weapon will boost its damage by 15% on bosses, champions and vehicles, but you've also got the very unique Firing Line. This gives a 20% buff to its damage when you're near 2 or more allies, and is perfect for any DPS situation or fire team encounter. More importantly though, if you just want a meme weapon to watch the world burn with, there's no better perk combination than armor piercing rounds with Mulligan. Shooting any enemy will cause your bullets to overpenetrate thanks to armor piercing rounds, but this will also proc Mulligan as the game thinks you've missed a shot too and will return ammo to your magazine. It's pretty funny to see and is great for Warmind cell creation and mass ad clear. Now if you like Warmind cells, then you'll really like my channel, so go ahead and subscribe if you're new here. We've tons of builds and guides aiming at making the endgame of Destiny 2 accessible for everyone. Also, give this video a rating below as it really does help me out and is always greatly appreciated. Now let's get back into it with the next machine gun. The Shattered Cipher is next up and is possibly the most accessible one to obtain right now thanks to its dropping from Override or using Umbral Engrams at helm. It's a rapid fire frame, and although not likely to be absolutely meta in terms of DPS in the long run, it could be perfect for any encounter where high burst mid-range DPS is required due to how quickly you can empty the magazine. Auto-loading holster along with Surrounded is possibly the best role to chase if you're wanting a DPS version. As most boss encounters will likely proc Surrounded from ad spawns, it'll give you a huge 40% damage boost with the Surrounded spec mod applied too. With huge 80 plus magazines as standard, it could be definitely a sleeper option. For general play though, I've been using this Heating Up and Rampage version. Heating Up massively improves its stability and recoil direction, which is perfect for this archetype, along with Rampage, which also increases its damage output, both of which proc on any final blow. Next, we're moving on to the Vault of Glass machine gun Corrective Measure. Its normal or Timelost version will absolutely work wonders regardless, so don't feel you need to go bang your head on the wall to do the master raid for one. It's an adaptive frame machine gun and has a number of unique perks. If you're looking for a pure DPS weapon though, this probably isn't it, but there's one role that can work but does require a little bit of setup. Rewind Rounds is the new perk introduced in the Vault of Glass raid and is a top tier one. It effectively auto reloads half the magazine when emptied depending on how many shots you've hit. It'll keep doing this until your magazine is too low to repeat this, however it does effectively grant you about double the amount of ammo without reloading. You can pair this with One for All, which grants a 35% damage boost for 10 seconds after hitting 3 different targets. You can proc it again and again, but it obviously requires some setup, so it isn't ideal in terms of pure DPS encounters. However, if you're looking for a fun roll, Rewind Rounds and Firefly is the one. With it being a void machine gun, it'll deal with the void shielded enemies, but as Firefly creates solar explosions on precision final blows, you can also deal with solar shields too. Add in Wrath of Rasputin to help create Warmind cells, and you've got yourself a very versatile heavy hitter. Speaking of heavy hitters, the Swarm is probably the heaviest hitting of them all. The Swarm is the returning Destiny 1 machine gun and is now a Nightfall exclusive reward. It too has the Adept treatment and can be awarded by completing Grandmaster Nightfalls. It has one of the largest standard magazine sizes for its archetype and comes with some great perk combinations. arguably the best right now is Bottomless Grief, which will increase its base magazine size further along with Vorpal Weapon. You can go one better with Enhanced Magazine, but it's not totally necessary. This means you can add Boss spec or even the Adept Big One spec for huge damage output. Alternatively, if you want to improve its handling, stability and reload, then Surplus could be the one for you instead of Bottomless Grief. Likewise, One for All is an option for ad clear and certain DPS situations, but it isn't ideal in my opinion. Remember that Bungie updated the Adept loot so that Bottomless Grief is a standard alternative perk on them, so you may be able to double up on your favourite perk combos if RNG is on your side. Now we've got the bonus pick up here last, with the Iron Banner Solar High Impact Frame Machine Gun, Archon's Thunder. This is typically aimed at being your PvP heavy weapon, but you can still make it work in PvE too, although it won't be your DPS beast. Surplus and Killing Wind will be your best choices in the first perk column. Surplus will buff your stability, handling and reload speed per fully charged ability, and Killing Wind will boost its range, handling and your mobility for a short time after a final blow. Both of these perks work great with either Fresh to grant super energy on final blows, or even the ever faithful Rampage for a nice damage boost. As for honourable mentions, Commemeration from the Deepstone Crypt Raid has the unique Reconstruction perk, which not only slowly auto reloads your weapon over time, but it doubles the magazine's capacity too. It's a very handy perk and can't be underestimated in endgame content regardless of the rest of the weapon's role. And you can't end any machine gun conversation without talking about the exotic Thunderlord. This historic heavy exotic has always been a fan's favourite, and this upcoming buff might just put it up top for DPS options. With it generating damaging lightning strikes on consistent hits with the weapon, as well as on final blows, it's the perfect all-rounder for both ad clear and high burst DPS. As with all in-game changes to weapons damage potential, machine guns will likely have a place in the meta during Season 15. Bungie previously stated they wanted machine guns to offer high-end ad clear, as well as having them positioned to be strong for sustained damage during longer damage phases. Also, it's likely we'll see further legendary and exotic options down the line, which could shake up the machine gun landscape as we know it. But for now, these are my picks and what you should be looking for as Season of the Splicer winds down. Remember, if you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe and give this video a thumbs up too. Also, whilst you're at it, join our community Discord Clubhouse too, the links are down below. That's it for this one though, so on that, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.